Hello, my name is Francis Fox, and I am a trained remote viewer. I also know interspecies communication. All my psychic skills have been trained and honed and statistically analyzed since I was a child because I was in a secret government program that has still not been declassified. So today I'm going to give you information on each of the astrological signs, but I don't have any training in astrology, which is really good. Because when you're going to read something as a remote viewer, you are not supposed to be looking at things that you have information about because that gives you an emotional reaction. You have information you've trained in, and then you have the psychic information coming in. And if you have too much information about what you're reading, it will interfere with the psychic information. And you'll start to juggle in your head to kind of figure it out. And that's not supposed to happen. You're supposed to simply get information and deliver it, or not deliver it. But you shouldn't be getting information about things that you have too much knowledge about or too much training in. So that's why it's harder for people who are very educated in terms of university degrees to get on board having to do with things that are other dimensional, which you can only get to with psychic abilities. So we're going to start, and we're doing the horoscopes now for the 18th to the 24th of November, 2024. I also do these weekly in Spanish. I rarely do them in English because I suspect that many people don't have some basic concepts that will help them to understand what I'm giving, but there's really no more time. We're in end times. Here we go. And perhaps you should look at your relationship to the spirit world, your relationship to past lives, your relationship to karma, which means you draw to you what you need to have more of an understanding about your life. Okay, so let's go ahead and start with the usual first astrological sign, which is Aries. A- Excuse me, Aries, what is it that would be important for you to know at this point? Aries, apparently you're very instinctive, and your instinct, if I had to locate it in your body, it would be right underneath your sternum, right underneath your breasts, in the center. But it's a big black hole, which means that the psychic information that you get is making you depressed. But information is power. It lets you know when things get bad before they get bad. And it lets you know where maybe you should slow down, pay a little bit more of attention to what's going on. So, why don't we give you a mantra which will help with the depression? Most people that are very psychic have a big tendency towards depression. They can see too much, and they can kind of see, even when people are smiling and laughing, they can see that there's darkness around, which there always is. But it's a lot more fun not to see that darkness. In your case, Aries, you feel it. You're clairsentient. The mantra that we're recommending is, please God, help me with my intention to miraculously purify my depression. And the depression could have to do with childhood stuff. It doesn't really matter. That's the good news about the mantra. The mantras are repeated in silence, and you expel the breath through your mouth. And you don't have to believe a word that I just said. If you try the mantra and repeat it in silence, and you pay attention to how you felt before and how you felt after, you're going to be shocked at how quickly you can feel much better. The next sign that we're going to read is Taurus, which is a female sign, and it is associated with the element of earth. Taurus, what do you need to know? I'm getting an image. You're in your front door and you're banging the door, and it's got a screen door, and you're banging the screen door, and then you open the door and you knock and you're trying to get in, but it's your own house. And then you finally realize that you're not paying attention and that it's your house and you have a key and you can get in. And you realize that you need to slow down and you need to get yourself either to a forest, the woods, lean up against a tree, lay on the grass in your local golf course. I'll lend you my shirt. because you're not seeing things clearly. You have the key. And that is what I just said is symbolic. So, what is going on in your life that's so god awful, that has you so upset that you are not seeing that you have the key? You need to slow down. Your mantra, even though I'm confused and afraid, I love and accept myself. And that is the purification mantra. And I can already see you slowing down. I think it's really going to work for you, okay? I don't see bad things. You are just, something has triggered you, or a lot of things, and you're just crazed. But it's a craziness that may be covering some really good stuff that's happening. But you're just feeling the craziness and the confusion. Do the mantra, please, Taurus. Continuing on, we're going to go to the next sign, which is Gemini, which is a male sign. Even if you're female, it's male energy. And it's an air sign, which means thoughts. That's what's important to you, not emotions, and not grounding. So Gemini, what do you need to know now? You're not very happy. You're very contained, and you're not very happy. You're like a little bit gone, which is a tendency for all the air signs, which would be Gemini, Libra, and Aquarius. They're not that grounded. I see you very ungrounded, Gemini, and not happy at all. So you need contact with nature. Don't sleep with your cell phone now or ever. Try not to sit near the router because that radiation disassociates. Get yourself out in nature and know that what I'm seeing now, right around the corner, is an opportunity to really get a big project that you have, to really get it out there to the world. It's right there. In other words, you're in almost reaching the end zone. You got the ball and nobody's going to take it away from you, Gemini. But you're depressed because it's been a long haul. So let's give you the depression mantra. But we're going to give it to you in a purification form. Please, God, help me with, no. Even though I'm depressed and impatient, I love and accept myself. Okay? That mantra is going to help you a lot. You repeat it in silence. You expel the breath through your mouth. Mantras are devices that liberate the mind, and the mind is what creates on planet Earth. It's not your enemy that creates. It's not your ex-wife, ex-husband. You create. Your mind creates, but we have a lot of knots in it, our minds, and then they create these bad realities. Mantras are very effective at taking care of it. Do the mantra, Gemini. You're going to feel a lot better. And just the information that your project is right around the corner. You can't see it because it's around the corner. You're not there, but you're there, but not quite. A couple more paces and you'll be able to see it. And it's going to make you and a lot of other people very happy. Continuing on with the next sign is Cancer. Cancer is a female sign, even if you're a male, and it's a water sign, which means emotions, 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 emotions. Cancer. You have a big black hole in your solar plexus, which is called the garbage can of emotions, which is also where human beings channel personal power in the world. So you have a massive depression, Cancer, coming from many incarnations and generations of a lot of unfairness and of difficulty. Cancers absorb emotions from other people. And when there's a tendency for people when they're with Cancer to go, oh, God, they're so depressive. Come on, Cancer, lighten up. Yet, that same person that's telling Cancer to lighten up, that same person, when they leave Cancer's side, they feel much better because Cancer just took on their negative emotions. But Cancer, you're coming into a time where you're going to get compensated for all of that. For now, you need to manage your depression. No, you need to purify your depression. Modern medicine has you manage your depression. We teach you how to get it the heck out of there. Sometimes the depressions include a spirit. And that's why a lot of the descriptions of God, it just landed on me. I just all of a sudden I feel that's because a spirit that has a lot of that depression moved in closer to you. If you don't believe in spirits, it's okay. But that means you haven't really been paying attention to your religion, have you? So, your mantra, even though I'm depressed and want to die, I love and accept myself. And I would strongly suggest you do it a lot because that's a big black hole in the center of your body, which is where you channel personal power. So you're going to be in zero and la la land with personal power unless you get this depression purified, not under control, purified. Okay, and you can do it. The mantra will take care of it. That's the wonderful thing about a device that liberates the mind. This particular mantra will liberate your mind of the depression that's overwhelming you, Cancer. Continuing on, we're going to go with Leo, which is a male sign and a fire sign. Leo. I I think for what I've been seeing for Leos for a long time, I think you're doing pretty well. On your right side, which has to do with the earth element, your life on the physical dimension, and emotions, there's a lot, it's rather messy, lots of emotions and lots of insecurity in terms of your physical life and happenings. But I do see it's almost like you're cut in two. But I think that when you can get an integration of the two sides, you're going to be doing very well, better than you've been doing for years. So I would suggest that you cross your arms and hold with your hands, hold the opposite shoulder and breathe deeply in order to be able to integrate the two sides of you. That in science is the integration of the right side of the brain, the left side of the brain, and they know that when you do that, you create genius. Well, in metaphysics, when you can get the left side of your body to work with your right side of your body, basically you're going to be facing the world complete, and it's going to be easier for you to achieve your intentions. So I would try that movement, that gesture that I'm showing you, um, of putting your hand on the opposite shoulder, both hands, and then just breathing. And you can do the mantra. What mantra should I give you? Even though I'm confused, I love and accept myself because this big split that you have has got to have you very confused. Because one side of you would be saying one thing, and the other side would be saying or feeling a different thing. So, which of the two do you pay attention to? You need to get them both together, and then there will be a choice, a decision, a tendency for something that comes from a base of being complete rather than split. So that's your purification mantra, Leo. But I think that you're in a better place than you've been for a long time. So we're going on to the next sign, which is a Virgo, which is a female sign that's earth element. So whether you're male or female, you're getting in mainly male energies. Excuse me, female energies, not male. Both male and female. If you're Virgo, it's mainly female energies from the element of earth, which means that things that are physical are very important to you more so than emotional or conceptual or movement. So, what does Virgo need to know this week, the 18th to the 24th of November, 2024? For years, I have seen Virgo as if they were buried. In other words, the earth element has overwhelmed them, or somebody has done black magic on them and has buried them because that's a type of black magic, a burial. They take a little doll or something of yours and they put it in a box and then they bury it. And a lot of times they bury it in cemeteries. They hang around where there's going to be somebody's going to get buried the next day. They open up those holes, darn, and then they just pitch this little box in there. Or when there's a new building going up, when they're going to do they're excavating the ground to put up the rods, whatever, they also throw those boxes or containers with black magic there. So you kind of get concreted in terms of if somebody has done black magic on you, and that's why I'm seeing what it is that I'm seeing, Virgo. That can be removed without having to go to the physical dimension, to that um, construction site or to that cemetery. But you're allowing things on the physical dimension to occupy you too much, and you haven't looked at what it is that you intend, and you haven't taken the time to visualize that intention as if it already was manifested in the future. So, what I'm going to recommend, Virgo, is that stop with the perfectionism and the trying to get everything in place and get it right. Yes, you should do that, but you need to spend more time in terms creating based on your intentions, not on reactions to what's going on, but on your intentions. What is your intention, Virgo, for your life in the future? What is it? Well, no, no, no. You got to get clear, because the universe is going to give you what's going on with you. And if it's confusion and six different things, that doesn't work. What is your intention? And then visualize a time in the future and see yourself as that already done, as that having happened. And you can visualize yourself calling or speaking to the most important person in your life and saying, I got it, I did it, or it happened. And put a date on it. You could just say in your head, this is next December, or this is February the 15th. And you visualize yourself um, saying to somebody, I got it, I did it, whatever it is. And then breathe into it. And it doesn't take long, it's a few seconds. And then do that many times during the day. And that is the way reality is created. That's why it's so important not to stay frightened with things, because that you're afraid of ends up being food for your ability to create. Okay, Virgo, you've got your recommendation, which is to visualize what it is that you want in the future, and substitute some of the time that you're spending on trying to get everything just perfect to where you're almost buried in details. Kind of let that go a little bit, okay? So let's go ahead and let's go to the next sign, which is Libra, which is an air sign, and it's a male sign. Again, regardless of whether you're male or female, if you're a Libra, you're getting in mainly male energies. So, Libra, I see you saying, I don't care what people think. I don't care what people think. I just want the truth to come out. I don't care what people think. And that's very good, because Libra, you spent too much time trying to be a perfectionist so that people will kind of think that you know how to do things right. And in this case, something has pushed you up against the wall and you don't care what people think. You just want the truth to get out there. And that is a very good place to be, because the only thing that's going to be left standing here and now in end times is the truth. It doesn't matter how much disinformation is thrown at us, at humans on the planet. It's the truth. It's only the truth that's going to be left standing. So I would say that you're in a good place. And I don't really think I have anything to recommend other than um, there's nothing I could recommend. I think you're exactly where you need to be, which is probably a pretty miserable place. But so miserable, it pushed you to say, you know what? Let it all come out. I need the truth. I can't do this anymore. In other words, I can't live a lie anymore. Okay? Good luck, Libra. Good decision. Good decision. We're going to the next sign, which is Scorpio. Contrary to what everybody thinks, Scorpio is associated with the water element, and it is a female sign. Scorpios are very interesting because they have come to planet Earth to help people deal with their karma. Now, what does karma mean? Karma is you draw to you what you need, having to do with your intentions in this incarnation. So if you are doing god awful things and your intention is not being helped by these god awful tendencies, things, habits, whatever, it's possible a Scorpio is going to come and encourage you to do even more of those god awful things. to where you finally get into trouble and something stops you and you go, you know what? I need to stop doing these god awful things because this isn't working. And then you can blame Scorpio, but you can't really blame Scorpio because Scorpio only will take you to where you need to look at something for you to make a change. Meanwhile, Scorpio is getting trashed as being, oh my God, never trust a Scorpio. You can trust that what they're doing really works for you, but it might be very painful. So, but what does Scorpio need to know between the 18th and the 24th of November, 2024? Scorpio, I see you pretty tranquil. You've made some decisions. I see you putting on tennis shoes, and I see you with a hat, counting your money, and I see you walking out the door, and you're not walking out with anything. You're just walking out the door, and you're whistling down the hall and saying hello to people, bye to people, and walking out. And you're saying, from here forth, I'm going to do what I want to do. And this is something I've been seeing in Scorpios for several weeks. They are no longer going to be working with other people in their karma. They're going to be working for themselves, which probably means that they'll create less havoc. But it also means that stuff that we needed from them, we're not going to be getting because they're going to be taking care of themselves. This is good, Scorpio. The only thing I can tell you is the words I'm getting is people are going to adore you even more and admire you. They're not going to be walking away from you just because you're doing what you want to do. Nope, not going to lose anybody, Scorpio. That's very good news. The next sign we're going to read now is Sagittarius, which is a male sign, and it is associated with the fire element. All the fire elements are struggling at this time on planet Earth because there is an excess of the fire element. And that means that the fire signs have a triple whammy with their element because the fire element at this point is very damaging. Okay, so what does this have to do with Sagittarius? What does Sagittarius need to know from the 18th to the 24th of November 2024? Sagittarius, you're not looking good. You're just not looking good. You look, I would say, I'm going to do what I always do. I'm not going to monitor. Sagittarius, you look like when somebody has a diseased organ and it needs to be removed, and they remove it and they put it on that little table they have next to the surgery, in the surgery department next to the patient on the bed. You look like that diseased organ. That's what I'm seeing. In other words, you are not well. Am I saying you're going to die? No, they're doing surgery on this person. I'm not saying you're going to need surgery. I'm not saying that you're physically ill on the physical dimension. What I'm saying is that you have stuff going on inside that if you do not resolve, you are definitely going to be sick, and maybe in several places at the same time. You do not look healthy internally. And I really don't care how many of you listening to this are going to want to say, this woman is so irresponsible. Can you imagine how many people are going to get so nervous? You know what? The truth is real important. And I can look at you and say, you're going to have cancer in 2 years if you don't make some changes. And what did I just say? What I just said was, if you go to a doctor, they're not going to find cancer. But you are cancerous already in the deeper dimensions. What am I saying to Sagittarius? Let's start with the fact that I think I would be really surprised if the Sagittarius is really healthy. And what I basically am saying is, you do not look good. And you need, being it that we already know, Chinese medicine knows that, Ayurveda, 5,000-year-old medical system knows that. Our emotions that we don't process are the basis for a lot of our illnesses. So what are you not dealing with, Sag? Or have you dealt with anything in your life? Your mantra, please God help me with my intention to know what to do. You don't know what to do. You've gotten so far off track having to do with the truth of how you really feel about your life that you don't know what to do. So there's your mantra. The mantra is done in silence. Repeat it in silence and you expel the breath through your mouth. Okay, Sag? I would I would I would start doing it right now. Not looking good. I'm not a positive or a negative psychic. I'm a very, very good psychic. So for me to modify what I just said to Sagittarius goes totally against my training and does not help Sagittarius at all because I don't think Sagittarius have very much more time to be playing around with what it means to be a human, which means an emotional being. It's a difference between us and other beings from other planets, and it's the difference between us and animals. We have to take care of that part of us because our emotions, those particles of emotions, are what constitute our astral spirit body, which is left after our physical body dies. On to the next sign, which is Capricorn. Capricorn is a female sign and it's an earth sign. So whether you're male or female, you have mainly female energies entering you because that's the gender associated to that astrological sign. So, what is it that Capricorn needs to know? Okay, I see you at your home. I see you picking up everything that you had put out there to protect your home, to block people from coming close to you, from coming in. Very much defensive mode. But what I'm seeing now is that you're coming out of defensive mode and you're coming into a mode in which your arms are going to be open to friends and family and good times. And it has to do with having become clear as to who the true enemies are. You had illusions about friends and family, and those illusions cost you across the board in every department in your life. You continued family traditions that perhaps were not in keeping with your soul level. Um, so I see you going to a good place, um, having to do with your relationship with society, with people. Um, this is good. So I like what I'm seeing, Capricorn. I'm not going to give you a mantra. I don't think you need it. You're doing exactly what you need to do. And I see a lot of people coming to like your where your home is, and they're coming for something social, and then they're trying to hand you money, or they say, "Listen, I have a new project," and you're going, "Okay, we'll talk about it after the party," and they're like, "Yeah, yeah, but I don't want you to forget me." In other words, I think people are going to be standing in line to do business with you and to work with you. Something has shifted, and in your embracing human beings because you're more clear as to what love is about and friendship and etc. You're going to open up your business life. Very interesting. Very interesting. Continuing on to the next sign, which is Aquarius, which is a male sign and it is air. Aquarius is the most evolved of all the mind signs. They are not so grounded because they're air. So their big issue is to be grounded and landed, to not just have great imagination and thoughts and projects, but to actually have them manifest on the physical dimension. So, Aquarius, what do you need to know from the 18th to the 24th of November, 2024? Previously, I had seen Aquarius as had wallpapered all their walls, including the windows, so that you couldn't see out and you couldn't see in. I see you taking down wallpaper from the windows so that half you can see out half of the window and it's shiny and sunny outside. And you're wondering to yourself, why did I block all of that? So I think Aquarius, you're going to be more optimistic about the world around you and the world, and you're going to be less defended and less guarded, and you're going to be surprised. that it's going to be much nicer than you thought. So let's give you a mantra. Please, God, help me with my intention to miraculously trust. I guess Aquariuses know so much, they have so much information that they end up not trusting anything because they can see both sides of everything. That's not easy. So that's the mantra that I recommend. It's an intention mantra. And you repeat it silently and you expel the breath through your mouth. Let's go ahead to the last astrological sign, which is Pisces, which is the most evolved of all the signs. It's a female sign and it's a water sign, which means emotion. Pisces, from the 18th to the 24th of November 2024. What do you need to know? Whoa, are you angry? You're very depressed and you're very angry, but you're not able to process the anger because somebody's controlling it. Somebody has put something around your mouth. Let's say it's a long piece of fabric and they put it across your mouth and then it's tied behind your neck, and then that piece of fabric, it's not a rope, it's a piece of fabric, goes to a person who's controlling it and not allowing you to express your anger. And you need to find, I see you saying to yourself, I need to tell this to someone. So there's something that you need to express and you don't feel comfortable expressing it. And somebody doesn't want you expressing it and they've done something. In terms of what I see, it feels like black magic, but it could simply be symbolic of somebody having you frightened about really sharing the truth or talking about something. But I see you needing to share with somebody. And if you don't do it, you're going to end up with a lot of problems with your teeth and with your mouth and with your jaws. And you're going to get headaches. You're going to start grinding your teeth at night if you're not already. So your mantra needs to be, please, God, help me with my intention to know who to trust. So that means that you're not talking because you don't know who to trust. Okay, then that's the perfect mantra. You need to talk to somebody about whatever it is that other person to talk about. And you need to figure out who it is that you can discuss this with. Meanwhile, may I suggest a tantric custom, which is also, they also recommend it in therapy, which is that you write what it is that you want to get out of your mouth and then you burn it. If there's nobody that you trust, get it on paper and burn it. And don't leave it there and then burn it 2 days later because somebody could read it. Just go ahead and write it, go back and read it, and then burn it on the spot. And you're going to have a therapeutic release. And then your mouth and your teeth and your throat chakras will not get damaged by whatever it is that you're going through, that you're not feeling that you have somebody that you can share with. So those are the horoscopes. They're remote viewed. I'm not a trained astrologer, which means I don't have the limitations of belief systems or whatever it is that my teacher in astrology would have taught me. And I also can read energies of planets and of stars that regular astrologers would not know that are already influencing us on planet Earth. I don't have those limitations. I also can't read your astrological chart, so I have liabilities. But hopefully this information will help you, and hopefully the things that we recommend can help you to get through the week. We are in end times and everything is very heavy duty, but when you have this extra information, it can make a big difference. I'm Frances Fox, trained remote viewer, bringing you the energies of the week of the 18th to the 24th of November, 2024. Please do listen to our podcast, which is on Spotify and also on Apple. And the name is Frances Fox, News from Other Dimensions.